My God, it's full of stars. That was the opening to 2010, the sequel to 2001. A movie that I enjoyed. And a lot of people poo-poo 2010. They say it lacks the grandeur and the majesty of 2001 and the mystery. Everything's explained. Yeah, everything's explained in 2010, so it's not the same philosophical tone poem that 2001 was. That was my impression of a person complaining about 2010 and then swallowing a frog. But I enjoyed 2010. I enjoyed it. It's a good science fiction film. It's like Star Trek, but with a John Lithgow character. And I am tired of people dissing it. Technically, it was a really well-made film. I thought the art direction and the camera direction, all that was fantastic. I don't want anyone saying anything negative about this film anymore. And if they do, oh, there will be hell to pay. There will be hell to pay. Nixon probably liked the movie. Not that that's a good or a bad thing. I'm just throwing that out there. Still worried about my bladder. That's still happening this morning. But that's become par for the course, which is a golf terminology. I hated golf when I was younger because I was no good at it. The ball would not go straight. The ball wanted to go in different directions. And that, my friends, is the stroke of a theater major. You know what? I'm not interested in the ball going straight. I want the ball to take a journey. Like Lord of the Rings, I want the ball to go through forests and deserts and valleys. See the world. Have a Joseph Campbell-esque hero's journey. And come out of it a changed and different ball. To you, it's golf. To me, it's life. Yeah, so I was not that good at golf. And not that good at golf at all. Watching a Ford Mustang. No, I'm sorry. It's not a Ford Mustang. It's a Chevy Camaro. I apologize to both Ford and Chevy for mistaking their cars. A Chevy Camaro driving by. The car looks mean. I don't know if a car can be mean. I think a car is just a car. Unless it's a Stephen King novel, in which case it's a demon car. A demon car that's haunting. A demon car. Very scary. Demon golf cart? Less scary. But still scary under the right circumstances. Demon go-kart? Scary-ish. Demon basketball court? That's kind of weird, but still scary. We'll give you that. Demon bicycle? Yeah, it's a challenge. You're making it a challenge for the demon now. To just kind of ring the little bell at you, but really not be able to do anything. Then again, if it's a demon bicycle, I would assume that it could ride itself. I'm assuming that. It would be very frustrating for a demon to inhabit a bicycle but not be able to move it at all. That would be. I'm not sure what happened there. There was a miscommunication that maybe the demon zigged when the demon should have zagged. A demon paper airplane. There's a movie. There's a movie. A lot of people with their eyes poked out because of the demon paper airplane. Who folded the demon paper airplane? The devil. And I shall not use recycled paper. Ah! 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 So here's something I've noticed. In my entire life, I don't think I've ever seen a family of squirrels. I've only seen single squirrels. Never seen the family. Never seen the den. But I've never seen, not so much the den, but, mother and children of squirrels. I've never seen that. I've only seen single squirrels. I've only seen lonely single squirrels. Somehow we attract each other. It's the same energy. Am I jumping to an erroneous conclusion? Entirely possible. But I was watching a squirrel eating an orange, and I got the distinct impression that the squirrel was frustrated. And it was how he nibbled on the orange. It was a he, too. Yes. Just up there, nibbling on the orange, saying to himself, I hate flirting. I really do hate it. I hate flirting. What do women want from me? What do they want? As he's eating the orange. That's how I see it. A lot of things I see. A lot of things I don't see. What do I don't see? What do I not see? I don't see the Force. I don't see the Force. I hear the Force. I have an intellectual understanding of the Force and the concept that we're all connected, we're all interconnected beings, and we're all connected by energy. And the effects of one being affects the effect of the other being. And that at some fundamental level there is no difference between life and death. Except to say that in death you probably don't get as good of eclairs. And that right there is something, that's like a Woody Allen style joke right there. I feel like I'm basically ripping off Woody Allen when I try to do something like that. So now I feel guilty about trying to rip off Woody Allen in the moment in this podcast. I need to slow down because the construction worker is saying go slower because they're working on the street. There's a giant hole in the street. Which reminds me of 2010. For no particular reason other than I was just talking about 2010. Fantastic film. Why haven't you seen it yet? I've been listening to the podcast for some time now. And it appears that Joshua is attempting, through stream of consciousness, to attain some kind of higher state of being. And has it succeeded? It has not. And I, Rasputin, delight in its failure. Mr. Rasputin, there are a lot of major problems happening right now in Russia that I think you should take a look at. Do not listen unless you dare. Rasputin, we don't even know what a podcast is. Of course you don't. Only I, Rasputin, understand. I've seen the future, and it is podcasting. I will unlock the secrets of this podcast, and I will develop a following that shall outweigh and surpass the followings of all that have come before me. Mr. Rasputin, there's talk of a revolution. You do not need to concern me with such things as a revolution when I have at least 100,000 Instagram followers. I shall be a god! That's always, by the way, my favorite part of any movie is the moment where the supervillain says, I am a god! That is my favorite part of any movie. I've never seen the movie Knights in Rodanthe, but I'm pretty sure if it had a villain in it who at one point said, and now I am a god! I have driven a wedge in the relationship between Richard Gere and the actress whose name escapes me at the moment. I have stopped them from falling in love. I am more than just a man. I am a god! I have made Helen Hunt doubt whether or not she's really in love with Jack Nicholson in As Good As It Gets. I am no longer a man. I am a god! I believe Skeletor also said that in the Masters of the Universe film. That film, Masters of the Universe, it has a special place in my heart, that movie. It really does. Because they just, heaven help them, they didn't have the budget. And because they didn't have the budget, it was a movie where He-Man comes to the 1980s suburbs. Who could have predicted a live-action He-Man movie where He-Man and his sidekicks are coming to terms with Kentucky Fried Chicken? Who could have predicted it? I can't decide when I'm watching that movie if there is a God or is not a God. Because on the one hand, only a godless universe could create a situation where He-Man is running around a mall. But on the other hand, if a god created He-Man running around the mall, what better god could there be? And chances are, if there is a god creating this kind of movie, it's probably the kind of god that Skeletor became when he said, I am a god! With my paws, I shall make a rainbow bright movie that takes place in Cleveland! It's a great film. You should see it. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's a great film. It's a really great film. You should see it. I don't know if I can, Mark, because now it's going to remind me of you. I'm telling you, Linda, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened between us. I do know what happened between the two of you. Rasputin, what are you doing here? I've driven a wedge between the two of you. How did you do that? With my mind. I am no longer just a man. Are you about to say that you're a god? Yes! How did you know that? I was kind of saw it coming. You should not have been able to see that coming. Only I can see that coming. Only I am a god! I think you're double parked. They will not stop me. I am a god! You're starting to sound like you're from Boston a little bit. You're starting to sound a little Kennedy-esque. I am a god! I am a god! Well, I think I've run that into the ground. Running to the ground, running into the ground, running, boom, 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 running to the ground. Running to the ground. But we must keep on keeping on. Driving by a place that says dance and music classes. Very important at a young age to expose children to the arts, to dance and to music, to show them art, works of art, stunning works of art, to show them Jackson Pollock, and for them to say, why is that painting so expensive? And for you to say, shut up, Timmy! It's art. Appreciate it. These are the things that we must do when raising our children. Because it takes a village. It takes a village to raise a child. I come from the village called Aurora, and that's probably why I'm clinically depressed. But I have to be careful when making fun of Aurora. I had a friend who very furiously wrote in a Facebook message, hey, Aurora was voted one of the top 20 cities in America. And he's right. I should not make fun of Aurora. I should make fun of all 20 of the top 20 cities in America, because at the heart of it's not Aurora, it's everywhere. I should make fun of life, the human condition. It doesn't matter where you grow up. You could grow up in that magical city of Fantasia, where the childlike empress grew up. And even she has problems. And I'm not talking about the overarching, the story's going to end and Fantasia's being destroyed problems. She's got, normal problems as well. How do I relate to the boys in school when I am the childlike empress? I look like I'm 12, but I have the knowledge of the combined universe. It's very hard to have a conversation with Timmy when all he's interested in is boogers. And why am I the childlike empress? If I have all the powers, can I be an adult empress, please? Can I be able to reach things? This childlike thing is creeping other people out. I'm at major diplomatic functions. People are going, why is that 12-year-old talking about trade negotiations? Because she is the childlike empress. What does that mean? Well, she has the body of a child, but emotionally she's 147. Well, that sounds horrible. Can't they do something about that? They actually can't. They've tried. And it's the never-ending story. She cannot die. All of her friends have died. She's living a horrible and lonely existence. That's why she really likes Doctor Who, because she can identify with the Doctor, who himself is also immortal, and must always go through having to find a new companion and having to lose a companion. She's a huge Doctor Who fan. Oh, what do you think is her favorite Doctor? Oh, she was partial to Capaldi, I would think. Indeed. As are we all. Rasputin, I don't understand what you're talking about. What is this Doctor Who? It is a phenomenal show. And the fact that you cannot see it only exposes your incompetence as a general. I'm beginning to think, Rasputin, that maybe you should stay in your room more. I do not need to. I am a god! I thought we all agree. I thought collectively, Josh, we agreed that we were running that into the ground. Yes, we did agree that. We did agree to that. And I kept going with it. Tacos. That's the thing to talk about. Let's talk about tacos. Talkin' Tacos. I'm pretty sure that's a podcast somewhere. Welcome to Talkin' Tacos. I'm Tim Johnson. This is my sidekick, my wife, Lurleen. Hi. And this is the podcast where we talk about different taco restaurants and the quality and quantity and beauty of tacos. So this right here, this taco is from Tacos Unlimited. It's this new taco shop that opened up on Main Street and 3rd Avenue. And I really like that they that the pork is pulled on these tacos. I really enjoy that. Honey, what do you think? I think that there is no God. Honey, we talked about this. We need to keep it positive. Otherwise I'm going to have to start re-recording this podcast. I don't care about tacos. I have no passion in my life. My children don't talk to me anymore. And honey, now is not the time. I think this is the time. I've fallen out of love with you. Honey, I just don't understand what went wrong. We fell in love over tacos. Tacos used to be our thing. What's happened? I'll tell you what's happened. I've driven a splinter in this relationship. I have taken away her love of tacos. Why would you do this, Rasputin? Because I desire to be a god. So you're saying that you're going to be a god and then just break people up? Yes! Why would you do that? Because I'm tired of listening to couples complain. And I am lonely. And no one will go out with me. But if you were a god, couldn't you make someone go out with you? It's not the same thing. They would only be going out with me because I'm a god. But underneath it all, I know they wouldn't really be into me. It would be just kind of like that bad guy in the first season of Jessica Jones. That's what I would be. Which is ultimately sad and pathetic. Even though he was a great bad guy. So it was good for watching, but it's not something I'd actually want to do. I just don't want to be alone. Rasputin. Making you a god. That won't solve your loneliness. You have to become a better person. And for that, it doesn't take being a god. It takes being a better man. God, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. From this day forward, I will be the Rasputin that everyone wants me to be. And then he probably didn't. Da-da-da-da-da. That's the end of the podcast. That's the end of the podcast. It's really, really silly, and will it be the thing that gets him to be famous? We'll see. Probably not. We'll see. Probably not. We'll see.